So a pretty damning video of Joe Biden has resurfaced. This is incredible. If you want to see what Joe Biden's heart really is, the one thing I'll give him credit for is he has his moments of raw honesty. Like sometimes he plays politics and he tries to, he's disingenuous as fuck. But every now and then he'll just let something slip that you're like, oh shit. He was just keeping it real. So here's a great example of that. Watch this.
Senator, I'm sure that you would agree that your service in the Senate up to this point has not reflected any particular concern for the larger contributors.
Well, the fortunate thing is I didn't have many larger contributors, and the only reason... See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son. And so I had to go out... Well, I had to go to a number of small contributors.
Well, I think we're all grateful, Senator. You didn't take no for an answer.
I was ready to prostitute myself to big donors. And the reason why I ended up going to small donors is because they said, come back when you're 40. Well, guess what? He came back when he was 40. The thing is, I really don't think... If you brought up to Biden why that's a problem, I don't think he would get it, and I don't think he would care. He'd act like, no, that's just the way it works. He would act like you are just... You're so naive for thinking that, there's even a possibility to get beyond the whole big donors controlling politics thing. Bro, this is just how it works, okay? Grow up. Do you mature a little bit? You don't understand this? How silly of you. That's what I think his reaction would be. But the thing is, no, that same scorn that he looks at you with is the scorn that we have for him. Because it's not that we don't get it. We get it. We get that that's how it works and that this is in the DNA of the system right now. But we're also not so blinded by the culture we currently live in that we can't imagine something much better. And so we look at him with this scorn because our reaction is, just because it's the way it works now, and just because it's in the DNA of the system, and just because you're in the swamp, doesn't mean it's not a swamp. You know how when you walk into a pet store, you get immediately hit with a whiff of just all, dog shit and fur, and just every gross smell at once. And then you notice, stay in the pet store for 8 minutes, and then by minute 8, you're like, I don't even smell anything. That's Joe Biden. He's in the swamp. He's in the cesspool. He's deeply corrupt. And he's like, sure, it stunk when I took my first few steps into the cesspool, but now I'm in the cesspool, it doesn't stink anymore. Weird. No, it's not weird. That is the way it works. And people who are outside of this deep corruption look at it and go, holy shit! Why has nobody fixed this? Are you kidding me? What a joke! What a joke! It's like now with our healthcare system. Millions of people who are uninsured. 30 to 45,000 people dying because they don't have access to basic health care. Somebody could easily make the argument, what do you mean? That's how it works. That's the nature of the system. Right, but we're trying to imagine a better one, and we're fighting for a better one, and it is theoretically possible to have a better one. So let's make that the reality. But guys like Joe Biden wears it on his sleeve, bro. Me? Listen, I tried to prostitute myself. But they said, come back when you're 40. So, I came back when I was 40. In other words, he's just a standard politician. He's not revolutionary. He's not a visionary. He's not in any way, shape, or form ready to really fundamentally change the system in the way that's necessary right now. He is a status quo manager. That's what he is. I was willing to prostitute myself to those big donors, still am. Is what it is, how the system works. No. We're fighting and we're making it better. We're actually in the process of it right now, literally. That's why we got no corporate PAC money. That became a pledge that's now taken off everywhere. Even Joe Biden's pretending to be on board with that, but then he cuts out the middleman. He doesn't go to lobbyists, now he goes right to the CEO. But it's not just a gimmick for us. No corporate PAC money, no billionaire money. And we're trying to run candidates who raise money only through small dollar donations. That's the purest method. In our corrupt system, that's the purest way you can run. And that's what we're doing. We're running candidates like that. And then they get to fight for the people, unlike you. You're going to fight for Wall Street. You're going to fight for the pharmaceutical industry. You're going to fight for the for-profit health insurance companies. You're going to fight for the defense contractors. You're going to fight for the rich. It's not me saying it. You just said it. I was willing to prostitute myself. I was willing to take the big money and then do their bidding, but they said come back when you're 40. Well, you're well over 40 now, son. So my guess is you have quite a bit of big donor money now, don't you?